this is a fucking cucumber. There we go. Another Finland video.
Ladattaviin hybrideihin ja täyssähköautoihin.
Another fucking Finland video. Let's do this.
Simply clever.
So if you're either thinking about moving or already planning a move to Finland...
Are you planning on moving to Finland? A classic. Planning on moving to Finland. Let's be honest, there's better places to live than Finland. I love Finland. Milking a half-dead horse here, aren't we? Basically, yeah.
Finland, there are a couple of things that you really need to keep in mind about this country. So in this video, I will talk about some of the most important things that you have to keep in mind before you move to Finland.
Every fucking last drop.
To be aware of is that due to the geographical location of Finland, we experience very strong seasons with stark differences between summer, winter, autumn and spring. So if you come from a country where you do not have strong seasons or even just a proper winter, these seasons in Finland can really mess with you both physically and mentally, especially during the first year. So first, Finland has a very long and very dark winter, during which the sun barely comes out during the day. A couple of examples, for example, here in the capital region, which is in the southernmost part of Finland, the shortest day in the year, which is in the midwinter, only sees about 5.5 hours of sunlight. However, the higher...
If you come from the southern hemisphere of the world, then yeah, you might feel something different. But if you come from the northern side, which is like from the countries that most move to Finland, you won't see any difference other than like the only major difference in Finland compared to, let's say, I don't know, moving to Germany is like our winter is really cold. Yeah, we don't have sunlight, but that's a normal thing when it's winter. It gets more dark. Is Scotland a northern country? I'm pretty sure it is, right?
The shorter the days are...
We can check northern. Yep. Yes, it is. So yeah, back to the video.
During the winter.
So, not gonna like be a dick, but I would say this is like more than half the population of the world lives in the northern hemisphere. Because we have China, we have all of North America, Russia, half of Africa, all of Europe. So I would say the majority of the people live in the northern hemisphere. So they already know the differences between winter and summer, even though if they don't feel like the temperature changes, they know the differences between like how much daylight you get. It's basically in our biology, like 300,000 years the current like man has been traveling on Earth. And the reason they survived was they pretty quickly figured out that there's differences in like sunlight and darkness. And they grew everything, hunted certain way according to the sunlight. So that's not a new thing though.
In fact, the northernmost part of Finland experiences something just before 4 a.m. seasons. Anyways,
so yeah, let's go to the second one. This was dumb.
The second thing on the list is the fact that Finland can actually be a rather expensive country to live in.
Again. Again, Finland is an expensive country to live. But it's also a safe country to live, free healthcare, free education. The social system is like really fucking good.
Pay might vary somewhat. Regardless, it's a great tool to use. Moving on, the next thing to take into account before moving to Finland is that even though it is true that everyone in Finland do speak good English and most normal things like road signs, public transit ticket machines and government websites are translated into multiple languages, there are still languages barriers that you will most likely encounter. So there are a number of these kind of barriers, but just as an example, the most common case that I've heard of is that people get surprised when they go into grocery stores or in supermarkets and notice that not all product labels have English names on them.
Imagine having a point that not all food labels have an English translation. Just a second, I'll be right back. I'm back. I go abroad and I see something like this. Oh my fucking god, I don't know what the fuck that is because it's not in Finnish. How fucking dumb do this guy thinks that people are? Like, you can tell that, oh my fucking god, that must be an apple because it looks like an apple. Those are probably pears because they look like pears. That's an orange, those are bananas. This is a fucking cucumber. Everything doesn't need to be labeled in English for an abroad, like a foreigner, to know what the fuck it is.
All product labels have English names on them. So this could be a bit of a pickle, as many of the products naturally are very different from those that you guys have in your country, and simply using a translator app does not work. Rather, I would really recommend that when, and
I want to correct this guy. Majority of things we have in our grocery stores are exactly the same things that are used around the world. And if you're talking about like ready stuff, like let's say sauces or fucking glass pickles or fucking, I don't know, coffee or something, they all have like ingredient lists in fucking English. Because the majority of the things we sell in our grocery store are brought from countries that speak English. That's why the ingredients list is also in English.
Talking about jobs, another thing that you should take into account is that finding a job in Finland, especially as a student, is not easy.
Complete lie. Fabricated bullshit. We already discussed this in our previous video. Like, I guess this is a way of making videos, like saying the same shit as many times as you can, but it's still not gonna make it true.
Next up, it is good to know that the cliche about Finnish people being a bit reserved actually
fucking using the Finnish stereotype that we are, like, really, we like to keep it out to ourselves. But why the fuck is that a thing you need to know before you move to Finland? That's like, let's face it, a lot of people doesn't like people who move to their countries. They are a little bit reserved first. Hearing you talk differently, hearing you act differently, seeing you act differently.
Truth to it, us instead. So this is actually not because we would not want to get to know you, but it's actually because
it's actually easier to make friends if you're a foreigner. This guy is full of bullshit. I'm pretty sure this guy doesn't have friends. Foreign students have it easier to find friends than Finnish students.
We don't really want to get into someone's face, and we are really proactive towards. Important point about friendships and personal relationships in general is that where I talk about the
Even I know the Finnish themselves don't like this Vankstein. Probably, yeah.